Welcome back everyone who has been following the series. This is the fourth video of MobiDAX tutorial series, how to deploy a centralized cryptocurrency trading platform using open source software. In this video, we will clone OpenDAX and enter all of the required configuration. I hope you're excited. Let's get started. Alright, so in this video we're planning to do three things. First one is configure firewall rules in order for our Docker swarm to communicate correctly and everything working as expected. The second thing we're going to do is we will install a GitLab Runner on both of our machines. That one is used to configure CI/CD that is supported by GitLab. It's a very neat configuration because it keeps up to date all of your deployment files and they are always in sync on both of the machines. So you don't have to manually git pull and git rebase. It's always in sync. After that, we will clone OpenDAX and fill in all of the required configuration. Some of it we will do in the next video. In this video, we will fill in everything that we can up to this point. Alright, so let's get into it. Now, this MobiDAX manual will be available to you as a blog post on our blog. The link will be in the description, and these are the ports that we have to open in order for our VMs to communicate correctly. So let's do just that. Now, what you have to do is you have to go to your EC2 instance and security groups, and you have to create a new security group. We'll call it Compose SG and give it a description. Let's do that, and then we add rules. So let's add inbound and outbound rules. We want these ports to be open on both sides, so inbound and outbound. And the source. The source is actually source and destination here. They have to be within the subnets that second machine is. So in this particular case, we have two virtual machines. One of them is a master and the other one is a worker node. So they both have to communicate via those ports. So inbound and outbound rules have to respect the subnets that both of the machines are in. And let's see here. So I opened up the machines separately, and if you go to your subnet in both of the particular machines, and let's find that, and you can see here the CIDR for that particular subnet. That's what we need. So let's go back to our security group, and the source will be this, and the other subnet as well. This is also our source. So let's go in here and add it as a source as well. And we want it as a destination as well. And I presume it should, no. Yep, and the other one we also want as a destination. So it's 172.1.16. Actually, yeah, it's the pain to do like that. So let's copy again. Yep. And port range is we want this port and we want this port. I've decided to speed up this part because the ports are available and you understand the process, so this is just some repetitive stuff and I'm sure you can figure it out. Perfect, so just like that we've added our security group and you can see here the port ranges and sources and destinations, so inbound, outbound rules. So that's great. Now this security group should be working fine for our EC2 instances. We can actually check. Let's go ahead and check in our EC2 instances what security groups they are using. Right, security groups. And let's go back. I think, okay. So we need to apply the security group to this machine. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, so change security groups. We want our compose as G and add save. Now we have it. So second machine, action, security, change security group, compose, add, save. So just like that, now all of the firewall rules applied, and our Docker Compose should communicate successfully, and we shouldn't have any problems with that. So now let's SSH to both of the machines and install GitLab Runner on both of them. Now that we have successfully installed our firewall rules for both of the machines, let's also install our GitLab Runner that will be very much needed for CI/CD process that I will show you in a while. So in order to install it, just follow these instructions that are provided on GitLab. And they are actually very easy and intuitive to use. All right, I did it previously, so as you can see, for me, that's already working, but for you, it will install, install just fine. So let's also run it. Now we need to give sudo permissions to GitLab Runner. All right, like so. And here, let's add another one. Okay, and the user is GitLab-Runner. Let's double check in our manual. This manual will be available in our blog. It's not posted at the time that I record this video, but it will be, and the link will be in the description. So don't worry about that. Now, we've given it sudoers, and then now we need to register. But in order to register GitLab Runner, we have to have a project on our GitLab. So now let's do that. But just before that, we also have to do the same on second machine. So right. Let's do that. Okay, so perfect. Right, so we have installed GitLab Runner on both of the machines, which is great. And now we will need to register it. So in order to register this runner, we have to fork the project first. So let's do that. All right, so current forking is in progress. Now, okay, so we forked the project, we have it. This will be our repository with all of the deployment files, and all the configuration actually will be stored here as well. So I strongly encourage you keep this private every time, like at all times, and no one has access to this. All right, so now in order to activate CI/CD, we have to go here. Then we have to go into runners, and here let's register a new runner and go through the procedure again, and make sure we don't miss the tags, right? Because that can be a pain later on. So let's give a tag, provide this URL. Let's go to CI/CD once again, then runners, then we want the token and the token description. So worker, manager. Now tags, we want tags manager and node 1, right? And then we want shell, and then here we want shell. Okay, so that's good. Now we want to spin them up, actually, like so. So let's do that. And let's check whether our runners are ready to go. You can see we have node 1 and we have manager, and they seem to be running. So let's see how our pipelines are doing. And you can see that this pipeline has failed. So the reasons why it actually did fail, I just figured, is because you have to initially clone this repository on the machines, and then it will work and update everything. So in order to do so, we need to create an access token. Let's call it Swarm. And we want to project API, read repository, read and write. Let's create project access token. We have this access token, which is great. And now let's clone the project. All right, so let's do that. I'm doing git clone. And Swarm. And let's see, and then we do add, and we need this project, right? Don't want the whole thing, we just want this, right? And dot git. Okay, so we cloned the project, we have it. Let's see. Let's do it here as well. Perfect. And now we can actually try and restart our pipeline again, which should work this time. So let's do that. And sorry about this mess a little bit. It's just I forgot the fact that you have to actually clone it first. And let's go back to the pipeline and see why it could have failed. So we had this deploy, right? Which would go here and would do git pull, and it would do source for RVM, and obviously we haven't installed RVM here yet, so let's do that. I'm actually prepared a link here, so let's install it. Oh, okay, so it actually has a dedicated right for Ubuntu, but we don't have that kind of Ubuntu, so we'll just do this. Stable Ruby. All right, now RVM is installed on both of our machines. So let's actually start using it. And we also need to install Ruby, the correct version right here. So let's do that. This also takes a little while, but should be fine. So let's install both of these. Let's install Bundler first, and then we'll install all of the packages. Let's do bundle, and let's do bundle here. Now this takes a little while as well. Okay, now we have everything installed. So I seem to have found the problem with our CI/CD. So basically the GitLab Runner user has this .bash logout file that is not compatible with this particular user. So let's try to remove it and restart the GitLab Runner. Let's do that. And on this machine, and let's do it on the same machine as well. Bash logout, GitLab Runner, restart. And let's try to restart the pipeline once again. I think this time we should be good. I don't want to jinx it, but let's see. Yep, there you go, guys. So thank you for staying with me on this journey, because usually for us it worked just fine. You didn't have to go through all this hassle, but because here we're using a latest Ubuntu version, we kind of run into this problem, which usually happens, and I'm glad that it happened to me now so that you wouldn't have to deal with it later. So, I mean, that's great that we resolved it like this, and you can see actually the output and what the runner did. So if we go back to our machines, and if we go to root and OpenDAX prod, and you can see for git log, and you can see that I actually pulled the changes that I've pushed just right here where I've changed the configuration. So that is great news. It's very helpful, this GitLab Runner. I'm telling you, it's really great for keeping things up to date. Also because when we are going to be deploying, we're going to be mostly working with the master node and not interacting with a runner node with just, with the slave. We're not going to be working that extensively, because all the commands we send to master and then he communicates with all the other nodes. So that is very helpful, because on any config change, we keep everything up to date in Git history, and there is no confusion, and everything is very well synchronized. So that is great. Next thing we have to do is we have to clone this repository and fill in the configuration for it. So let's open up a new tab. All right, I'll go to work, videos, and I'll clone it here, and I'll show you how this works. I already have one, so I'll delete that, and let's clone this. All right, so let's clone this and go through the configuration. So your main configuration file is right here, it's app.yaml, and here we specify all of the main config. So everything that is needed is usually specified right here. So here you changed your name of your project. For us it's bitsite, and then bitsite.eu. This is the main domain that you should use. And this is a subdomain. So let's do that. Now here we have a support SSL email. Now here you have just a list of images. These are the recommended ones. These are the ones that we use. So I recommend you stick to that. Unless we upload new images, then you just should follow the repository that we've just cloned. In order, to have the latest updates. So for Vault, there is a Vault token already specified. However, we don't need that because we are going to use KMS to deploy Vault. So I'll show you later on how you can configure KMS in deployment files. And for database and storage, we actually have our configuration that we did in previous videos. So we're just going to fill in that configuration right here. And let me get that file. So I need to go to Gist. All right, so see, this is my Gist file. All right. So just like that, I have my database config and my storage config. Now, just so that you understand, we also have some configuration for SendGrid and Twilio, which is down below. Then you can also enable CAPTCHA if you want to. There is a config for that as well. For this particular project, we're not going to do that. So this is the config that we can fill in at this moment. In the next video, I'll show you how you can get Twilio credentials and how you can get SendGrid. So that you can fill out that configuration as well. Now that is the end of the fourth video. I hope you're happy with the results. In the next video, I will show you how to deploy the required Mainnet Bitcoin and Ethereum nodes. Please hit the like button to support our channel, leave your comments, questions or suggestions, and you're always welcome in our Telegram group for additional support from MobiDAX team and our community. Link in the description. Have a great day everyone, see you next time.